Hey Sagittarius, how you doing? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Definitely. Okay. So you had a little bit of Ten of Swords action yesterday, darling. Let us see more about that. I'm a Sagittarius rising as well as I forget. I'm still learning. Come with me. We'll learn together. So, speaking of which, so Sagittarius, that energy, we like all our fingers in the pie, but well, that wasn't there when I pushed record. Okay, I'll take it. Sweet. All right. Anyway, Saggies, we like all the pies, and we gotta stick our fingers in each one and see if we like the flavor, and if we do, we're running with it, right? So Sagittarius, who has not looked up their natal chart, I hope we can see everything by the end of this. So astroseek.com is one of my favorite websites for kind of like beginners, because like they take you through everything gently. Like they tell you that, like, you know, the house is where it happens, the sign is how it happens, and the planets who, right? So you can look up your natal chart. Feel free to the sun moves. What do you know? Just spinning around on this little blue ball, and the sun's like, yeah, really fast. So I would highly recommend you look up your birth chart. It is a little bit of shadow work. I'm just gonna move this. So it's a little bit of shadow work, but it's totally worth it, right? And be gentle with yourself. I know I grew up Catholic, so yes, darling. Yes, darling. This is Yoda. Who's a good boy? You can sit down right there. Okay, so that's my familiar. That's not my pet. That is my familiar. Some people call them spirit guides, whatever you want. He's my familiar. He's my official sidekick. I do have 2 cats and a dog, and they are very much spiritually activated in my house because I have them. But Yoda chose me. I did not choose him. So anyway, so Catholic upbringing. Those of you who do have that binding spell, I'm not ready to go yet. Energy attached to you, just be careful, okay? Not so much because it's bad or anything. Oh my God, I'm gonna end up like not because it's bad energy, but because you're in that area of perception, right? So it's all how we perceive things. If you believe something to be true, it will be true for you. So Lilith was a thing. I had to go on a Lilith adventure, and it was a real thing, because there's a lot of misconception out there. There's a lot of toxic ways to perceive things, and sometimes it's if you allow it to be toxic for you, then it will be. And so after I was looking through my natal chart, I got a little bit triggered, and it wasn't like an upset triggered. It was I'm gonna spend 3 days under my duvet and just divvy up my stuff and who should get what type of energy. So just be mindful that nothing is set in stone, right? It's all in your perception. And that sun is like, I am coming through, dang it, I'm gonna shed some light on this. And I'm so grateful. I have so many windows in my house. I'm such a blessed girl. So let's see what we can do to kind of like relieve some of that Ten of Swords energy for Sagittarius. What does Saggy need to know? What does Saggy need to understand about their situation? So I have really small hands, you guys. So when I do that, it's a thing. It's a real thing. Oop, there it is. Whoo! Oh, High Priestess. So chakras. Block out the sun. Oh, hey. Okay. Haha. So High Priestess, right? In the emotional waters, but look at what's up by our melon. Okay, the moon. Subconscious yin energy, okay? Which, by the way, is not always bad, right? But she's holding a curtain there. She's keeping it protected. She's keeping it secret, and she's keeping it safe, okay? Not all things in the subconscious are bad and evil and need to stay there and be condemned to never see the light of day again. That's not how that works. For those of us truth seekers out there, we know what's in the light, right? We've brought some things to light in our own lives, right? We've done our human homework, we've done the research and whatnot. And sometimes the planet's not ready for what we're holding, right? So we've got to ease into it. We've got to be gentle. We've got to be considerate of others and their struggle, especially knowing that, we all started off not knowing this, not understanding any of it, and being compassionate with not only other people, but also ourselves, right? Because we all make mistakes. We all screwed up. We're here learning and doing the best we can with where we're at, okay? So, this is why probably the Ten of Swords is showing up for you, Saggy, okay? You got a lot going on in your subconscious, and you're rocking it out. It's High Priestess energy, girl. And when I say girl or female or woman, I mean, I'm talking energy. I can't interpret people. I don't know if, see, that's the thing, is I have these concepts, but I'm not sure if anybody will understand them, right? I don't want to trigger anybody into getting upset. But it's just how the picture's displaying itself to me. It is a feminine energy, and it's yin. We all have yin within us, just like we all have yang, masculine, within us, right? It's the yin and yang. So there's certain laws of the universe that you just can't escape, right? You don't get to escape, if you will, right? Let me see if I can turn this. Maybe. Oh. Dango. Okay, well, that's better. You can at least see a little bit better. Okay. So there's certain laws that we can't get out of, we can't break, we can't disassociate from, okay? So that's that the universe must be balanced, that yin and yang energy. And the yin symbol is actually meant to be moving. It's a never-ending, moving, cyclic pattern that happens within us. And I think that for you right now, your yin is really starting to move. Okay, and that is the energy that is becoming a little bit more prevalent on the planet, if you will. And so I think that this whole entire process is starting to hit a lot of people pretty hard, especially with the Scorpio season. And it's, yin's kind of been a little unexplored, And that's what, yin is. They're like, I'm hiding out in my cave. I'm not moving my tuchus. I'm going to sit in here and talk about trials, tribulations, and triumphs of the tribe. And find some masculine energy to do something about it with, right? So that's what this is saying to me. I'm not saying that's what it traditionally represents, but that's what it's yelling at me at the moment. So Sagi's going within. Does she need any tools? Right? Oop, 3 of Wands. Take your time. Explore. Enjoy the view. It takes a lot to have the courage to step into this energy and to hold it. This is a lot of courage right here. A lot. She's coming out from underneath the red curtains to an audience, right? To something that's, red curtains represent, you ever been to a play or theater or whatever, and they pull back the red curtains, or you see it in the movies where they pull back the red curtains, okay? So she's a little trepidatious, but she's still pretty much all the way out, right? So that's a lot of courage. So don't rush through it. Savor this moment. Savor the view, right? From up on stage. Savor it, okay? That's what we're here to do. That's what this cool journey is about. Getting to the top of that mountain and be like, okay, dang, I busted my balls getting here. Or ovaries, whichever you want to call it, right? How amazing is that? Okay, so remember to enjoy where you're at. And that ship has come in for her, and she's hanging on to it. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but shoot, we're going to work with it. So, Saggy, there's a lot of birds in that picture, though. There's an obscene amount of birds in that picture. So maybe that's where your mental energies, you're like, I see everything in all directions, and I have this is like 70 times 7 cups, right? So what are we doing, okay, with this? Any advice? Anything Saggy needs to know for the journey? Okay, there's a white building and a white ship here. That's screaming at me all of a sudden. So before I turn that card over. So the white ship and the white building. Where's your foundation? Okay? Hey, what up? So there's a foundation matter there. What's at the base of everything? What's at the root of everything? What's in those depths? You got the answers, Yod? So I think this is like you bringing that light that's within out and up. That's kind of what this is saying to me. There's something that you've built in your foundation that is bringing the light up from within rather than searching for it out there. Because right now, both of these cards are looking outward. Meanwhile, they have something right already at their feet. Does that make sense? So maybe this is asking you, you already have what you need within you or at your feet. All you got to do is see it, right? See it, utilize it, right? Okay, third card. Ooh, child. Mr. and Mrs. Illumination has shown up today. Okay, so everybody is like, oh, not that card. Ooh. Okay, so take a deep breath. Let it out. Okay. So this, by the way, don't eat the red mushrooms with the white dots, or the only trip you're going to be taking is to the ER. So, full disclosure. So let's look at this, right? It's growing into something. Now, mushrooms, stagnant kind of ish energy, right? Like they need some just shh. Don't disturb me. To grow, right? And there's 2 of the layers here. Okay, and she's got a web. Okay. I'm saying she again because it's a lady in the picture. And so it's yin energy again. So, dun dun dun. Okay, so this spider has done the web thing, right? So we ourselves are weavers as well of our own future, of our own potential, whatnot. Our thoughts and our words become our actions, and our actions become our reality. So her need to go within and look at and understand, what are the patterns here? See the pattern on her dress? What are the patterns that this web is weaving? What are the patterns it's making? Okay? Where do I need to illuminate? Right? Moon energy. Where do I need to illuminate in my life? What Devil usually is very fire energy, holding a flame to something, either your tuchus or your brain or whatever it is, motivating you to do things that you don't want to do because things are getting so uncomfortable to the point you're really like, okay, I just want out of this because my tuchus is on fire, right? My bum can't handle this. I gotta tune out for a while, right? And that's what it's doing, is asking you to look at the foundational pain, right? And typically when we're talking about addictions and things like that, you're just looking for connection, right? We just want that human connection. And I think that what I'm getting for this is connecting to your roots, connecting to what you already have, because all three of these cards have a very strong or lit up root on them, right? So there's the trunk, there's the ship, there's the tower, right? So I think that whatever is on the inside of you is going to be the answer. And that's where it always is. As above, so below, as within, so without, right? So if you're seeing something outside of yourself, right? Outside of yourself, okay, that's triggering you into a specific reaction, that you're weaving a web that doesn't bring you the outcome you desire, take a second and look at what it is that you're perceiving this from, okay? So for me, when the devil does show up, it's an illumination card. It's asking you to sit with it rather than dodge it, right? Sit with that uncomfortable feeling, right? Sit with that, you know what, I can't talk to people about this because it's going to trigger somebody. I can't say what's on my mind because I'm really scared that, I might get perceived this way. So I'm going to shut down. I'm going to go somewhere else, right? And get out of this energy because I can't take it anymore. Okay. So there it is, asking you just to accept what is. Accept the situation for what it is, and choose something. And if you do need to, dodge it for some relief, fine, just don't stay there. A wise woman once told me, you can deviate from the path, Sarah, anytime you like. You can deviate. That's what we're here to do. Explore, learn, whatever you got to do. Always come back. Always. This was how she said it to me. Always come back. Always come back. She kept doing that. Always come back. This right here. This is what really matters. You can explore everything that's in the world, but always come back to this, right? So sometimes we need different experiences to illuminate things. We need to go out and go on an adventure, okay? Whatever that is, to experience life to the fullest. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we learn, through perception, through experience, through feeling things, through tasting things, through smelling things, through feeling the wind in our hair, yada, yada, the sand between our toes, whatever it is, microdosing flowing through your system. So whatever it is that this is asking you to do, I don't think it's malevolent. I think you just need to take it with some moderation and be okay with it, right? Because it looks like you've earned it. Looks like maybe you just need to take a little brain break. A little break. And enjoy the journey. This Three of Wands always says to me, time to move, but do so with wisdom, right? So, because the Hermit's always carrying the staff, the Sage, the Wizard, they always have staffs, right? So it's they're not gonna, be racing through the forest, darting their arrows at people, right, Saggy? So just enjoy. Just take some time and really breathe deep and experience life to the fullest, because you've got a great view, right? You've got a great view. And even though the rest of the world can't see, there's still nothing wrong with you, okay? Nothing wrong. Bird thinks you're freaking amazing. So keep marching. Keep going. But keep it on the whatchamacallit side. Moderate, right? Don't go over the top, right? Okay, so I am being called right now to pull a blind spot oracle card. Okay, that's what these are. So, Saggy, is there anything in your subconscious right now that you really need to focus on, think about before? Okay. So, I got 59, and I have no idea what it is. I'm going to have to read it to you. Okay. There it is. Looks like a bowl turned sideways, but it's keeping its shape. Whatever's in the bowl. Right? Interesting. So, those of you who do not know what this is called a sigil, okay? You can make your own. You don't have to use anybody else's. There's tons of different ways to do this. YouTube videos out there. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But if you just Google it, like, go watch another YouTuber. We got a cool community going on for the most part. So go watch another YouTube video on making your own sigils. They're cool. I put a sigil up in my house like 5 or 6 days ago. The world blew up. And here we are. So, yeah, cool stuff. Okay, so, okay. I forgot how... Okay, so I know how I perceive these cards. I forget how others might perceive these cards. And I am talking to Sagittarius right now. Ooh, I can feel those little flamey balls headed my direction. Okay, Spirit, you asked for it. Here we go. Okay, so you got projection. So remember, this is your blind spot. This is not me judging. We don't judge here. We hold space. Got it? Yeah, I'm fully aware. I'm probably going to have to say that more than once. If you have drawn this sigil, you are projecting onto someone else. We are born relationally dependent. Being born relationally dependent into families that socialize us into a society that is not yet fully evolved spells trouble. Basically, we learn that some aspects of ourselves are acceptable and others are not. What is acceptable versus unacceptable depends on the perspective of the family you are born into. The aspects of us that are seen as unacceptable, both positive and negative, are rejected by our family, and the aspects that are seen as acceptable are not. So being relationally dependent in the name of survival, we do anything we can to disown, deny, suppress those aspects in ourselves that are disapproved of, while us exaggerating those that are approved of. We disassociate from what we disapprove of. This creates a split with the person that we call the conscious and the subconscious. This self-preservation instinct is, in fact, our first act of self-rejection. For example, a child is born into a family where anger is not an okay emotion to express. When the child gets angry, they are shamed for that anger, and so the child suppresses and denies their anger for the sake of survival within the household. But the anger doesn't actually go away. They just consciously deny it. It becomes subconscious. As an adult, this person will most likely not have any awareness that they have any anger in them at all. They will not and cannot see themselves clearly because they have denied that aspect of themselves. So when people tell them that they are angry, they will not, red curtain, oh my Lord, Spirit's working hard today. Okay, they will not relate to that. So, okay, let me start that over. So when people tell them that they are angry, they will not relate to that at all. They will probably only relate to themselves as easygoing. When we deny, suppress, or disown something, it doesn't disappear. It just fades from our awareness. To acknowledge it brings up the same fear of rejection, and so it makes us feel like we're going to die. We often overcompensate for whatever trait we have denied. For example, the person who suppressed the aspect of themselves that is the striver becomes the apathetic. The person who suppressed the aspect of themselves that was apathetic is such a striver. They excel at everything. So what do? Do we attract people into our lives who mirror both extremes within us so that we can have the opportunity to be aware of our own dichotomy? The law of attraction responds to both extremes. We are a perfect match to them, and even though they seem to be the opposite of us, because that denied self is a part of us and therefore is still subject to the law of attraction. But our partners, or those who are closest to us, tend to be our opposing mirror. They reflect the attribute we suppress and reflect. Sorry. Yes, kitten. We are a perfect match to them, and even though they seem to be the opposite of us, because that denied self is still part of us and therefore still subject to the law of attraction. But our partners, or those who are closest to us, tend to be our opposing mirror. They reflect the attribute we suppress. We reflect the aspect that they suppressed. This means the person who is apathetic will end up with a success freak, and both of them will be caused pain by the other because each is a reminder of the rejected aspect of themselves. They reflect to each other each of their lost selves. There's that sun coming in again. What up, buddy? The crucial thing to understand is that we can see things in other people that are totally unaware of in ourselves. This is the essence of projection. When we see negative aspects of ourselves that we denied in other people, it causes us to feel triggered. We have the same reaction to it. The same reaction to it. Okay? The same reaction to it. We had it in ourselves long ago. Reject it, hate it, get rid of it, avoid it. When we see positive aspects of ourselves that we woefully denied in other people, it causes us to fall in love. It feels like our opportunity to become more whole. We want more of it. We become addicted to it. We glorify it and put it on a pedestal and even idolize it. This sigil has come to remind you that any extreme aversion to this trait in another person is reflected the level of rejection you develop towards that trait or the potential of that trait within yourself. The more you hate something in someone else, the more you rejected it within yourself long ago. The more you love something in someone else, the more you disowned it in yourself long ago. Projection has become one of the biggest cop-outs and deflection techniques of all time. Oh, if that's not freaking true. It's actually a really good way to never have to take an objective look at yourself. You can simply say you're projecting to anyone who approaches you with a negative aspect that they see in you. But if you have drawn this sigil, you are actually projecting. You need to become totally conscious of what you have disowned within yourself in order to create improvement in the situation at hand. Be brave enough to recognize your own reflection in the mirror called life. Now I'm going to trigger you really, really hard. And I sincerely apologize, but I don't apologize at the same time. So you're still lovable. They're so lovable. And you are loved. Beyond measure. So, hope that helps, Sagittarius.